La 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 la. La 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 la. She really hates him, it's really true.
Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Go ahead, test.
Test.
Is that how you're going to talk the whole?
Test.
Do it right, testing. Say testing, normal, so we can move on.
Testing.
All right, I got a lot of stuff going on today.
Oh, okay.
Too much.
Remember last time you were like, oh, I'm this, I'm that. I said, every time there's something. And you said, okay, this time I'm not going to be. You said, next time I'm going to be
I never said
energetic. I'm going to look into the camera.
That was like 4 times ago.
Well, let's have it.
You had it. That was like 4 times ago.
What do you see your face? Do you think this is good? This is the camera right here.
I can't.
So you don't have to always look at the camera, but every once in a while you can like, oh hi.
Oh hi.
But you do the podcast like this. Okay, so let's talk about Joe Rogan. Blah blah blah.
I don't see you looking into the mic. I mean into the camera. You never look into it.
I keep my head up. I look at you most of the time.
Yeah. Guess you pretend you really think this is radio or something, and we're sitting across from each other.
I don't think it's radio, because radio wouldn't give a shit what anyone was looking at.
Oh, you mean podcasts are bigger than radio? You think this podcast is bigger than radio? If we were on,
no, that's not the argument I'm having. The argument is that
I'm not arguing. I'm asking you. It's not
okay. Your argument is, do you think this is bigger than radio? That's not the issue. The issue is that we are recording it.
Yes.
Visually. So
how many people do you think watch it visually? Maybe the clips, but our clip last week was very funny.
But if more people watched it, then it would be better for us. So just.
I think listening podcasts.
Your whole thing in life, which is amazing to me, is like do it the least possible effort ever, and then be angry when you don't have the greatest, biggest, most important thing in the world. That's
everything I do?
Yes.
Even when I'm on stage, I'm the least possible.
You sit down on stage, therefore, yes, it's like, no. I watched you do. First of all, I think if you're doing stand-up,
I see that.
Listen, if you're doing if you're not the last person on, you shouldn't be allowed to sit down. I really believe that, truly. And I saw you I had to follow you every show the other night, and you sat down every show, 10-minute sets or 15-minute sets?
12 minutes to 15.
Okay. Oh, an extra 2 minutes there. Stop doing that with your neck. And
wow, you're jealous. You don't have extra neck skin like me.
And I bet you didn't do anything to get it.
Yeah, I had to eat and get old.
Oh. I'm saying like... So yes, on stage you do put in as little effort as possible because you sit down.
That's not true. Now here's the difference, and can I give you my argument, even though it's not an argument? It's why I do it. Because first of all, we're 2 different comics. So when I sit down, it's easier for me to create, and if I'm ad-libbing or doing crowd work, I'm more relaxed, and it's easier to create, like I said. Also, when you sit down, you pull people into you. They listen to you more. If you're running all over the stage like a crazy person.
Which is what I do, as
not
you know.
you. I didn't say you did, Mrs. Inferiority Complex. I'm saying...
Hey, thanks for knowing my name.
Hey, oh boy. Woo.
We'd never be married if I didn't have an inferiority complex.
Yeah.
It's worked to your advantage.
Whatever. So I sit down because one, I'm very intense, and I need to draw people in because,
Right. So you just let your rings and your watch do all the work.
Oh, see, when I explain why I do it, you try to divert the real reason into something like, ooh, let's try to be funny and not be serious.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought I was supposed to be funny.
Not when you're
times.
Not when you're accusing me.
Seinfeld's wife does a thing it's a cookbook called Vegan at Times. But I think about it all the time, like for everything, like funny at times. Sexy at times.
Come on, some more.
Nice at times.
Does she shake her shoulder once she's...
At times. No, every recipe she makes is like a vegan recipe, but then her cookbook, vegan at times. It's like, I guess she's not really vegan.
Last night...
That's appropriation. If you're doing a vegan cookbook and you're not really vegan, go fuck yourself. That's appropriation right there.
Whatever that means, I agree.
You don't know what appropriation means?
To be appropriate.
Oh, yes.
And that's not appropriate, right?
No, that's absolutely not right. But I like your definition better than the real definition.
Well,
you know what appropriation is, right?
I just said no. I just gave you the wrong answer.
I thought you were being funny at times.
Yeah, well, I was saying because it's not appropriate for her to do it if she's not that. So it's basically...
No, that's not it. But anyway, yes, it's when you take from someone else's culture and use it as your own.
That's not appropriate.
It's inappropriate.
It's appropriate.
Inappropriation. That's what you would like to say.
Well, last night we were watching TV and Bonnie was, being funny at times, and she said, what'd she say? Sit on
Let's call our podcast Funny at Times.
She said, what'd she say? Sit on a screwdriver?
Yes.
She goes, sit on a screwdriver. I'm like, what?
I couldn't think of it, so it was late. I'd had a full, long day.
But Raina impersonated her, and it was 10 times funnier.
Yeah, it was very
She
funny.
went, sit on a I don't know what she did, but it was very funny. It's kind of you had to be there type of story. I'm just saying, like...
Heartwarming at times. This is what our podcast is. Heartwarming at times. I exhale at times. I look at the camera at times.
Are you going to say this the whole thing and aggravate me?
You're aggravated at times.
But you always say I am aggravated, but I'm not always
aggravated all times.
No, I'm not.
Your personality is pretty aggravated.
No, it isn't.
It's like if you had to use 3 words to describe Rich Voss.
I had tears.
Aggravated would be definitely one of them.
I had tears in my eyes when I was sleeping last night. I thought...
What were you thinking about?
How hard my mother had it in life. She just had such a hard life. It was so... It's so sad that, like that my father, they take off and my mother's got 3 kids. She's working who knows how many jobs. She can't get into a real relationship back then. She's got 3 kids. Nobody's getting into it,
well,
back
my
then.
friend has 4 kids and she's in a relationship, but okay.
Yeah, but back then it was harder. Now it's more because back now everybody's working and making whatever.
Right.
Back then,
Right. Being a single mom wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy back then, and it was just she had such a hard, sad life. And then, with me on drugs and my sister just taking off when she was like 18, moved out and took off and lived with some guy in Ohio. I guess my brother was the only glimmer of hope for her back then, But then, the good thing is she did have such a tough life, but I did get married twice and give her grandchildren, which I'm sure gave her joy.
I get parents when they're looking at their children in their cribs and stuff, they go, I hope he gets married twice.
No, I'm sure it gave her joy to have grandchildren.
Yeah. Well, it didn't seem like it from what I witnessed. But
well, then she got older and Alzheimer's or dementia. She started seeing snakes.
She thought there were snakes in her house. That's got to be.
It's what a fucking tough life she had. And as my father just breezed through everything, you know what I mean? Remarried, living in a fucking New York apartment. It's not fair. It wasn't fair for her. I felt so bad last night. It wasn't fair.
Well, you think about our lives really are so much easier. Even poor people's lives are easier now than when
well, there's more opportunities, but there's also
you're
more things
poor,
to go.
You still have a phone. You still have unless you're on the street, you're living on your credit, until you fall off that cliff, I guess. But you still have all the same things. Like poor people used to be incrementally poor. You didn't have any niceties of life. You didn't.
You just wanted to say incrementally.
I'm just using words that come into my head. I'm honestly not trying to like fuck you with my words.
No, you're trying to be impressive to
I'm
me.
not trying to be impressive. I'm trying to think of the right word to use.
Well,
Incrementally came to mind.
well, but you know, our audience.
Our audience is smart. At times.
Clean off your chin.
Don't say clean off your chin. See?
You had saliva on.
No,
it.
I didn't. Stop it, gaslighter. It's
Gaslighter.
disgusting.
Oh, I say it. Oh, I'm disgusting at times.
Yeah,
But-
you're disgusting at times.
Oh, you didn't put too much into the at times on that one.
You already said it, so then I was like, why am I re-saying it?
Well, anyhow, you have more opportunities now, but more things to deal with in life than back then. Back then, it was just a tougher life for people.
I feel like my parents worked so fucking hard. Like people say to me sometimes, like that I work hard, because I do. But you know, compared to my parents, it's nothing. I mean, they worked so fucking hard all the time.
Oh, my mother worked super hard.
Well, my parents worked really hard all the time, not at times.
Yeah, my parents worked super hard. Is harder than really hard.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
all right.
Matter of fact,
No, you're saying your parents though, but it
no,
was
I
really
said
just
my
your
mom. My mom.
Yeah,
Well, I'm sure my dad worked hard too. I mean, but
he was living. He was like
to live in New York.
he was living in Italy for a while and shit.
I don't remember. Just not long. Anyhow, she had a tough life, and
In England.
I'm glad towards the end of her life, or even that I did get clean, and she had grandchildren, and and then I turned out to be her favorite. I'm sure.
You're sure?
I mean, I offered more of happiness towards her than anybody else.
But your sister did a lot of the heavy lifting, right? In terms of like making sure that she was taken care of in those homes and stuff.
Yeah.
Stop, please. I'm begging
But
you.
my sister's older. That's the kind of stuff she's supposed to do.
Well, a lot of people believe it might be true. Statistics might support this at times. Is that if you don't have female children, you might not be taken care of at the end of your life. Like men don't tend to do it. Women do. Women are the caretakers of even. So you're lucky you have all girls.
I just noticed this whole area needs to be tattooed.
Okay, thank you for listening to me, though. I appreciate
listening
it.
to you.
At times.
You see this area right here? I got to put my granddaughter's name on me somewhere. Right?
Do you know what it is?
Amelia. Ameila. Amelia.
E-I?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure. Want me to call Ellen and ask her how to spell her kid's name?
Mm-mm.
Come on, let's talk to somebody. No. Why not? Why don't you like my daughters?
There's a lot. Stop it.
I can't believe you hate my
Stop
daughters.
it. I hate them at times.
I just want to, just let me call her for a minute.
We get along well.
Let me call her for a minute.
Why?
Because I haven't talked to Ellen in a while.
I know, but we're doing a podcast. And
we
you
call
have
Bobby.
24 hours.
But you have no problem when I call Bobby.
I don't like that either. I can't
don't?
stop you. Look at you. You just do what you want to do.
Sometimes, and so do you. I let you do. It's a free flowing.
I don't even bring my phone.
Hey, you're on our podcast.
Oh God.
Oh God, what? How do you spell Amelia? Ameila, right?
No.
No, thank God I didn't get that tattoo. How do you spell?
Oh my God. Amelia.
Yeah.
Oh.
Emil. Yeah.
Leah.
Oh,
I flagged it, Ellen, just so you know. I was like, I don't know if that's
She was
right.
gonna get her name tattooed. It's spelled incorrectly.
Oh my God, I would have had a. You would have had to have another kid and name her.
Do you even remember her name? Because half the time you ask me, "How's the baby?"
Well,
Yeah.
I asked him on this podcast if he knew the name, and he did, and then he spelt it, and then I was like, I'm not sure that's right.
Of course, I always say, "How's Amelia?" But you always go, "How's the baby?" People always go, "How's the baby?" That's a normal thing to say. All right.
All right.
Where
Yeah.
were you at? Were you at a baby shower over the weekend?
I was.
Oh, it says my internet cable connection is unstable.
It's all right. It's fine. You're good.
Do you post everything you possibly do on Facebook?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Well, I see it on Instagram.
Well, you look very good in that picture.
Thanks.
Oh, what's wrong with you? Why are you crying?
What is that? Your stomach rumbling?
Yeah, what's wrong with your stomach?
It's Amelia.
How do you spell it? A-M-E-
Now you have me questioning it.
A-M-E-L-I-A.
Correct.
All right.
Yes.
We have to run. We're just checking in to make sure how you and the baby are doing.
We're good. We're good.
All right.
All right, bye.
Peace out, homie. Love you. Goodbye. Oh, boy. She already hung up on me.
Yeah.
See, that wasn't a bad call. Sometimes we take calls and
Who are you telling that to?
the people.
I mean, they just heard you do it. We take calls at times,
Yeah, well, somebody that could have tuned in right.
but also,
What?
go ahead, tell them.
Well, sometimes we took a call from my
There you
daughter,
go.
Ellen. We called her, but we say taking a call. And see now her and the baby are. And I'm glad I didn't get that tattoo. I would have spelt it wrong. Ooh, that would have been silly. It would have been a nightmare.
It would have been such a Rich Voss move.
Would it have been?
Yeah, but I think people would have been like, I don't know if that's how you spell it. Like, it seemed off.
Yeah. I would have double checked probably. Mm-hmm. I keep hearing about this Rogan guy.
Rogan.
Don't say anything.
I didn't. First of all, don't tell me what I should say or what I shouldn't say.
didn't
I won't be
say.
censored by anyone, not even you. I'm 100% against censorship. That's where I stand on all this stuff. Okay?
Is that where you stand?
I
So-
believe
all the time or sometimes?
Well, at times. I truly 100% believe that we need to have discussion, regardless if you agree with that discussion or don't agree with that discussion. I don't believe in like, oh, it's misinformation. Misinformation can be just as valuable as actual information. And how do we know that we're not getting misinformation from the government? So I say getting it all out on the table is better than not. So that's my stance. Is he racist or whatever? I don't know. I didn't hear the supercut. I do know that
They found out who did that, who cut that.
who was a guy from the
Some far left guy I heard, and that's what they.
right. I mean, they come for people that are popular, of course. But it's
Ah,
crazy to me. Canada has this problem too, where they clamp down on things, and they like that comedian in Canada that
That's only one small issue out of all the stuff that all the comics up there. One Canada said something, got sued, and
but it sets a precedent. That's the whole point. It's like, oh, now you're not allowed to say certain things on stage because you could get sued. He's not allowed to do stand up in Canada, I don't think, at all anymore.
that's a good excuse why he's not getting booked.
I mean, but my point is that, like, of course, if you're a company, you can have who you want. Spotify can say if they want him on or not or whatever it is. But it's like, having a government weigh in is weird. And then you start to wonder, like, well, where does the government end and, like, a big business begin?
In Washington.
You know what I mean? You don't know, like, how much power that...
I know how much power they have.
Okay.
A lot. And Big Pharma, that's pharmaceutical.
Right. I mean, they're all like...
That's the money. Big Pharma now is the money. They're the ones who are telling the government. They're the ones who have the powerful lobbies with all the money. They're making, especially with COVID and all the testing and all the vaccines and all the money they're making. It's at a whole nother level of money for them. So they are as powerful as anybody, or any corporation or government.
Right.
They're just so powerful. And I guess, I don't follow this. I'm not, of course people will disagree and say why I'm wrong, but I would imagine, because I don't listen to podcasts. I do like Joe. I've known him for years. I've been on twice. He plugs our podcast all the time. I believe in freedom of speech. But what I think, so I can't say I'm 100% right, I think one of the reasons they want to go after him is because he's costing them money. He's costing them money. You know, what he says to take, I don't even know how to pronounce those names. Ivermectin or something, you know what I'm talking about?
Close enough.
You know, those pills are like $1 a piece. You know, the vaccine and the booster and whatever, I think they're like $40, whatever. I don't know what they cost, but if you're taking them, then someone's making money.
If you have money, you have a whole different level of health care available to you.
That's true. But what he say take, you can get if you don't have money, I would imagine. I didn't try it.
Well, I don't think he's saying to take it. That's the thing. I think he's just
saying what was right for him.
What he did, yes.
And for me, I took the vaccine. I'm older. You know, I'm not pro-vaccine or anti-vaccine, or pro-mask or anti-mask.
Really?
Well, I guess I'm pro-vaccine because I took it, but you know, I don't know.
We can't. This is something that, you know.
I don't get into the argument. I took it.
Yes.
Okay. So it's not, and I'll tell anybody. Yes, I took the vaccine, Johnson & Johnson. Then I got the booster. I think it was Pfizer. And I took it just like if I took the shingles vaccine, so I don't get shingles. 95% accurate, you don't get shingles. I took the vaccine so I don't get tetanus or whooping cough. I took those vaccines.
Heard it called whooping cough.
What do you think it's called?
Whooping cough?
Whooping cough or whooping, whatever. Okay. I took that.
You took Whoopi Goldberg cough?
Yes. Okay. So I took that vaccine. So those are the last 3 vaccines I've taken in the last couple of years. Shingles, the tetanus one, flu. Yeah, I took a flu. We took the flu shot. So I'm not anti-vax, obviously, because I took 4 of them in the last 3 years. But I'm not going to get on a pedestal and say you have to take it or you don't have to take it. I just did what I felt. Just like politics. In that New York Post article, they kind of lumped me in with right-wing
because one of your podcasts that you did with Joe Rogan got taken down. They said all these people on the right-wing podcast got taken down, as well as comedians Rich Voss and Little Esther.
Yeah.
And, you know, just to clarify, yours wasn't taken down for the same reasons theirs were.
Well,
I don't know what it was in your podcast that was flagged.
I don't know either.
Might have been something before you even got there. Because those will go three hours sometimes.
I think I did the whole podcast, but I know one podcast, like I tweeted or put on a lot. What we talked a lot about recovery, where I was when I did drugs, where I'm at now. That was the first podcast I did with him.
But that one didn't get taken down.
I don't know what one. I don't know which one got taken down. To tell you the truth, they just said a number. I think it was 357 or something. And to tell you the truth, you know, if they took it down, they took it down. I know I wasn't saying anything. Maybe it was another guest was on when I was on that said something, or maybe he played a video of some. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a 3-hour podcast, like you said. Anyhow, when they wrote this article in the Post, they said all these right-wing, I guess, talk show hosts, Gavin McInnes, all these people, and they said and comedians. So I guess they were trying to say separate. You know, people read that stuff and all they see is right wing.
And if your name.
Yeah. Or if it was left wing and my name, either that's all they see. They don't see the difference when they say and comedians, Rich Voss and Little Esther. Is that the comic? Mm-hmm. Little Esther.
She does a podcast with Annie Letterman.
Okay. So is she a stand-up comic too?
Yeah. And an actress. Not right wing at all.
Okay. So, and all I wrote on Twitter was, you know, I'm not left, I'm not right. I base my decisions on how I feel about them. I'm not going to let any side tell me I have to think this way. That's kind of ridiculous.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Is like when you start pushing people to like not be able to even question another side of things, that's what bubbles up and makes things. Then people start thinking, oh, well, what's in there that I'm not allowed? It's like when you censor books. It's like, well, what's in those books that I'm not allowed to read? Then, you know, That's why things get more popular once they're canceled, is because people are like, well, what's in it that I'm not supposed to see, or that, like, you know, the government doesn't think that, you know, I'm mature enough to understand.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, where did I say this on a podcast recently? And someone said, I hate to agree with him, but he's right. Back in the 60s, liberalism.
Well, there's only the one, so.
No, what was I
that
doing?
you ever did a podcast where someone said, I agree with it. Right?
What was it? Or it was in a conversation somewhere?
I don't know. Am I supposed to know the answer to this?
I can't remember. But, and like I said, back in the 60s, and I was younger, way younger, even early 70s.
Back in the 60s? Yeah.
Yeah. Liberalism was more of an open-minded look at things from all different angles, you know. So, whatever. I'm not left, I'm not right. I'm not pushing any political agenda. I'm not doing that. I'm not.
No, but you would if it was.
Well, no, but social issues, yes, social
okay,
issues,
if they were
I'm
coming
liberal.
After Jews, you would weigh in. You would
But that's
be political, so you are political.
I don't know
on
if
the
that's
things-
political. I don't know if that's political.
Yes, it's political when it affects you.
No, it's not always
For you
political.
to say,
It
like,
could
oh,
be
I'm
a,
not political.
but it could be a social issue too.
But a lot of people think, oh, people saying I'm not political
Okay.
is just a way to. And listen, I don't weigh in.
Okay,
But I'm just saying it's also.
I'm not 100% one way when it comes to politics.
I'm just saying that yes, you want to like think for yourself on each
Yes.
issue, which is
Yes.
what we should all do.
On social issues, I
think more people are in the middle than anyone would like to believe.
I know, and people hate that. People on both sides hate when you're in the middle because they want you on their side.
Right, because they're trying to get
Yes.
you to. Then they say if you're,
you know, I on social issues, I could say I'm liberal on social issues. You know, there's no reason to be against gay marriage. There's no you can't come up with a reason.
But then when you're not allowed to talk about anything having to do with the LGBTQ or trans, then that's where it gets like, well, that's too far. Do you know what I mean? Like I should be allowed to question things or talk about things.
Yeah, but people
ask questions.
But when you say it's too far, but people that are against gay marriage, it doesn't even go with them to that distance.
No, that's what I'm saying.
From the
I'm saying on the
beginning.
one side you have people that don't agree, that think like being gay is like blasphemy or whatever, and then you have on the other side where you can't question anything, and you know, little kids getting put on, you know, whatever. It's like I'm not saying I'm not saying anything bad about that. I'm just saying you should be allowed to have questions.
Yes. Oh no, I agree that, you know, what look.
Okay, if you don't have something to say, you don't just say it. Like I feel like
I
you're
do.
like
I have a
pushing so
million-
hard.
I'm not pushing so hard. There's so many things that you could look at, so many different angles.
Well, you don't have to. But that's the thing. You could be like, well, I don't have anything to say on that.
On what?
Whatever it is that you're trying, you're you know.
I'm not trying anything. I just gave.
You're
I
gonna
told.
get a hemorrhoid. You're like pushing so hard.
Oh, whoa!
Yeah.
Quit rubbing your foot on my
I'm
foot.
sorry.
It's
Jesus.
distracting.
I've like.
You're trying to do footsie with me under
No,
the table.
I have my leg is crossed. and
Do you
it's
do that with
touching
people you don't know? Like you just meet under the table, do footsie with them?
Yeah, I'm always sitting this close to people I don't know. It's crazy.
Well, anyhow, so, but also too, I did it. I don't know why. What was the thing where people saying post a picture with you and Joe, which I found one.
But if you're not political, why'd you do that?
Because he's my friend.
But then that's political. You're weighing into the political discussion.
That's not political.
It 100 million. You're crazy if you don't think that's political.
How's that political?
That's saying I stand with Joe Rogan.
But I said that already. I tweeted that.
Then you just said I'm not political, but you are
No,
political.
I'm standing with him because he's a friend.
Okay, no, it's still political. How can you not see that? If you're weighing it, you didn't send him a personal text saying, "Hey, Joe, I'm with you." That's not political. That's being a friend. Now,
on Twitter, I did. On Twitter.
Posting the things that you posted on Twitter and a picture with him, that is political. I'm not saying it's wrong. You just said, I'm not political, so you're being a hypocrite because you are.
I'm not being a hypocrite. I don't look at it as political.
Well, then how could it be seen as anything different?
if one of your friends was whatever, and you stood by, and that doesn't make you. I mean, we're not like friends. We call each other.
Listen,
I just know them.
If people were saying, "Hey, post a picture with this guy because he's being taken down and he's being bullied by the left or whatever it is," and you posted a picture with him, that's political.
No, I just did it because I like the picture. Now what? Now where do we go?
No, I'm not saying anything because everyone knows how fucking stupid and gaslighty that is.
Quit using the word gaslighting all the time.
Because you keep trying to twist like you're smarter, but you're dumber.
I'm not trying to say I'm smarter.
Oh, you're like, I just happened to like that picture. Oh, just at that time? Are we really supposed to believe that? Like, I don't know what part of it. Is it a joke? Now you're making me mad.
I was
at least have an honest discussion. If you're about honesty, if you're really about honesty,
why do you keep coming at me like I'm
trying to get? You just said I'm not political. Then you said, I posted a picture with Joe Rogan. That is political.
Okay.
Then you say, the reason I did it was because I like that picture of us. It just happened to coincide.
Can I finish? Okay, yeah. I am political.
There you go.
But can I finish?
Thank you for watching as well as listening to our podcast.
I am political, but I don't lean to one side. Can that be
that's fine. But you just said I'm not political.
Okay, well, I'm not.
In the midst of, know yourself.
I know myself. I just corrected it. I just corrected it. So stop. I said I'm political, but I don't lean. I'm not completely left. I'm not completely right. But I do base stuff on how I feel and how I feel about the politics that is in front of me. Is that better? Is that explaining it better? Yes, sir.
Feel good about it?
What do you mean, do I feel good about it? I'm just telling you where I'm coming from.
Well, do you feel like that's an honest answer?
Yes, it's quite honest, isn't it?
What about the answer you gave before? Was that an honest answer?
Which one did I give before? Which one?
You said I'm not political, and I only posted the picture because I liked it with him.
I posted that picture not out of politics, out of standing behind as a comic. I posted it under a first amendment.
That's very political.
Okay, so I am political, but I don't lean on either side.
Well, you're leaning very heavily on one side in this particular issue.
On this one, yeah, and some other ones I might lean on the other side. So I said I don't. My politics are how I feel about the situation. Is that okay? Is that better? Do you accept that?
And now, I mean, we took a lot for us to get there, but yeah. So
you accept it. Say I accept it.
I accept it at times.
How good. I hate, why did on Ozark they got to cut it in half and then make you wait till like April or something for the second half? You know what I mean?
So you don't have to wait till April for the whole thing.
Oh.
I want you to take a look at yourself and say, is this a good look?
What? You mean with my hat?
No, I mean the way you're like sitting and...
I'm so tired. I got so much to do today, but I got so much done already. You know, I had to go take another test. I took one Saturday to leave to go out of the country. I took one Saturday, 3 days before I'm leaving, and then I read online 2 days. So I did it today, which is a day before. I did a PCR test, not the whatever test.
Antigen.
Yeah, I did PCR, which I guess is more intense. Then I had to do the paperwork. More accurate. I had to do the paperwork for the country I'm going to. I'm going to go do more paperwork for the airline just in case. I had to go to CVS and get my high blood pressure medicine. Why do you think I take that?
Is it me?
No, my neck. Gaslighting.
Nobody knows if you're being funny or, because sometimes I'll be like, oh, is it really? You're like, yeah. You'll like try to like lean into that like lie.
No, first of all, even my doctor said when you get over 50, a lot of people get a little high blood pressure. So you got to stay on top of it. You have low blood pressure. I have high. So that's why our kid is neutral. So I did errands. I did what?
It's just, I don't know how you think this is interesting at all.
It's quite interesting. Everything we talked about was interesting.
You listing the things that you've had to do?
I'm just saying I have a busy day. This is what I had to do. I still have to do more. You know, Then we got to go to New York for a meeting. We got to do that.
Oh, I
Then
forgot that's tonight.
Yeah. See, that's why I list, because I know what I have to do. You didn't even know.
Sorry. Should I be going through my calendar on the fucking podcast?
No. But
Well, that's
in your
what I'm
head-
saying. I'm saying you go. That's why I list on a podcast. That's why you list so that I know what's going on.
No. So
What it makes no sense what you're saying. That's why I list, because I forgot that we're going into New York tonight.
yeah,
That's why I list. It makes no sense.
it makes a lot of sense. And I'm just telling the people, they have busy days and they're taking time out. Some of these people are going, well, I got to do this, and that today and listen to the podcast, so people can relate.
They really like. You know what? Why are we doing anything but listing? Today's lists. There we go. Okay, I got up. I drank some coffee.
Who brought it to you?
You did. Thank you so much.
You slept late too.
Well, I got up early. Then I couldn't get back to sleep.
Why'd you get up early?
Because Raina woke me up when she was going to school.
Yeah, she usually wakes me up, but I didn't get up.
And then I cleaned the counters. I made myself some breakfast.
You fed the cat?
Letterman. I fed the cat.
Wait, how did you talk to her that early? When she was up at 4:30 a.m.?
That was later in the day. I fed the cat on the wrong side of the list. I didn't know I was doing the list in order.
Well, that's what I do. We're different. What else? You do anything else?
Just cleaned up, did a load of laundry.
You notice I put the laundry into the dryer and
It
stuff?
wasn't dry. It was like you forgot to turn it on, I think.
I don't think I did.
Well, because I was going to put the other clothes into the dryer and they're wet.
Oh.
Now, this is the kind of stuff people come here to hear.
They don't, whatever. I'm not going to argue about whatever.
So we were at the stand together Saturday night. Had a huge fight on the way in, a huge blowout fight on the way in, which is tough, right?
Yes, especially when I'm driving.
But you go off the deep end, man.
So do you. Don't act like you're so peaceful. People could tell from this. You started yelling about where I stand on politics.
I just don't like hypocrisy. So
I just don't
when
like
people are
yelling.
I'm not political. Well, I did post a picture of Joe Rogan and I. It's like, well, what do you think politics is? Because you're not like talking about fucking the political parties?
Everything's politics, and if it breaks down to
yeah, okay.
it. Everything. All right, so what happened at the stand?
So I had some friends there, and
They love me.
they were young, very young women, and I was. Sometimes when I introduce you, you know what I feel like it is.
But
it's like I'm a father with a super super gay son, and it's like I love him, but it's like, oh, how are people gonna like deal with this? Do you know what I mean? Like there's a little bit of trepidation and like, I hope no one's mean to him. He's a lot. That's how I feel like when I introduce you. I'm like, oh God, please let this go well. And also just like, it's so much. The rings and the tats and the shoes and the hat and everything. It's like
They fucking love me.
it's like when I'm like having a conversation. Say like if I'm at the bank and I'm like, then you come in and sit down. I'm like, oh, that's my husband. Oh.
First of all, you piss people off all the
That
time.
is not true. Stop it.
You don't.
That is
Not all the time.
true.
Oh,
I don't believe that for a second. When have I pissed people off?
I don't keep track. Matter of fact, you told me a story how you were pissing people off when you were writing on the roast, driving into New York. I don't want to say names, so look at her smile. Here's the story.
Well, I said someone that I wrote with on the roast didn't like me, and then you asked me why, and then I said that I was.
And then you said I piss people off because I like things my way. I go, were you the head writer? You go, no, I was just a writer, but I like to do that kind of stuff.
Well, I knew the best way to do it, and I asked someone to do it that way, and then they got mad at me.
So is that pissing them off?
I mean, I I owned it. I was like, I mean, even when the like executives were talking to me, they go, "We understand you took a lot of like leadership roles," and I go, "Well, some people just thought it was bossy." I mean, I know that's how I am, but I'm also not an asshole. I'm fun and nice. I just think I know better than everyone else a lot of the time.
Okay, so now that's not an asshole.
Well, I mean, I understood why she was mad at me, but like in the moment, but I didn't know why she was would still be.
Well,
mad
listen,
at me.
I love you either way, whether you're an asshole or not. But I got to wrap this up because I got a radio interview in 4 minutes. That's going to be brutal.
All right. Well, I just wanted to say that those girls loved you. They ended up loving you.
How do you know that? You talked to them?
Well, then, I guess when you left to go do your set, they were like, "He's great," but it was like still sort of like half cringy.
No, I had them laughing, and I know I'm very charming.
I guess you can pull it out when you want to.
I can.
I don't know. Can you?
Wait till the podcast's off. The podcast is done. I'll show you. I'll pull it out.
Oh, I don't want that. I
That's
don't want
dirty.
you to pull it out. That's okay.
Well, we got to go back to 18, whatever that show is, 18 something.
1882.
Because we're done with Ozark. And I'm watching this other show. It's horrific. Bank Heist. It's just so whatever.
All right.
Listen, have you caught up on Afterlife?
I haven't started it yet.
It's so good. Anyhow, listen, I got to run. This weekend this weekend I'm in Saturday. I'm in Scranton. Next weekend in Wisconsin, Kenosha. This Wednesday, Thursday, I'm in Aruba. Oh, I got to go online and book golf. All right. Listen, thank you. And Bonnie, anything you want to plug?
I don't know. I got to cancel some dates, so no.
All right. Oh, and we're doing a private show on Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So you're not invited. It's private.
Bye.
Bye.
La 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 la.
My Wife Hates Me was created and hosted by Rich Voss and Bonnie McFarlane. Executive producers Robert Kelly and Matt Kleinschmidt for the Laugh Button podcast. Subscribe to the podcast by visiting mywifehatesmepodcast.com.
Suicide pact, he's totally sober. She's not that drunk. He's really old and she's got some spunk. He's totally holy as an asinine bomb, and she's just a little less dumb. She really hates him, it's really true. But somewhere deep down, she loves him too.